It's a great pleasure to be here today amongst the esteemed lot of women entrepreneurs amongst us who represent a very varied set of businesses, right from healthcare to new age tech to very innovative very innovative brands in traditional businesses. So as we all know, women entrepreneurs have had a huge social and economic impact on the India's GDP, in our cultural and social fabric, and in so many other ways. So, in terms of hard numbers, the almost 18% of India's GDP is now being driven by women, even though their representation in terms of population is 48%. So, if you were to look at the contribution, it's still quite small. But in terms of hard numbers, it accounts to almost 15 million women-led businesses in the country today, which employs almost 27 million individuals. It's a very large number. And, all of this has happened in major sectors, business sectors like healthcare we have today. We have social tech. We have new age tech in terms of EV. We have innovation. We have agriculture, we have innovation in terms of health and wellness, and we have absolutely roll up your sleeves and go to the ground food tech business, restaurant and food business, right? So it's a fair smattering of women-led businesses across sectors, which have traditionally been led by men. So today's session is all about going deeper into the understanding of their journeys. What were the challenges? How did they really get here? And what do we have it going forward from here? So, I would probably start the session with.
Yeah, so I just nominated by myself because I really feel entrepreneurship is a lot like me, as quoted by me earlier. Because I just fell down. I got a call from an investor, and I was getting a call here. You are next in the panelist. I just fell down in the washroom. My ankle got twisted. I have a cramp, and I just walked down here to make it up to the time. So entrepreneurship is a lot like me, and I don't remember so many things, so I just jotted down and try to relate with it. So I believe that a woman's entrepreneurial journey, it is a journey of an MBA and an engineer founder turned into an agri-tech startup, diving deep down into gai, bakri, murgi, machli, and straight into gobar now. And why? To transform a million of lives in their quest to thrive with dignity and equity. It is the journey of an agri-tech startup, that is GramShree Kisan, grappling with all the technologies and newness around it, and wondering whether I got it right at the first place, but still trying to find a way to keep on rising and shining regardless. In fact, being woman is much more than being human, I think, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very different challenges as compared to any other businesses. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Aastha. I'll just quickly now jump to Mugdha and would love to hear about your story. From what I understand, there were some personal health challenges which spurred you into the space, and then today you are helping thousands and thousands of women doing the same thing. So please.
So yeah, it started off with my own health, physical health, mental, emotional health. There was a point of time when I was nearly suicidal, so I had to kind of figure out what was going on there as well. But physically, I had like a couple of autoimmune conditions going on. I was at 97 kgs, really messed up, and I had to figure, despite a master's degree in nutrition, I really couldn't understand what was going on, and then I had to deep dive, learn, get into this field of functional medicine, understand how to get to the root of my own health, and from there the journey began for myself. So what happened, and I think this is something very unique about a woman, like you crack something for yourself and you immediately want to offer it to your community and to other people in the world. So for me it was like, hey, look, I figured it out and this is what it's working for me, who else wants this? And the business literally grew from that thought, I could do it for me, so why not offer it for other people? And it's grown because this method of looking at health from the perspective of root causes, using a lot of science, using a lot of tests and data, and then offering solutions based on that, it didn't exist. It's kind of an innovative way to approach health. But I think beyond that, my slippery phone. Beyond that, what really amazes me about my own journey is like, I come from, like, there is no entrepreneur in my family. My grandfather worked in the same company for 40 years, and my dad did change jobs, but everyone was always an employee. The women in my family mostly were homemakers. Even if they had aspirations, they never kind of, came up for reflection because that was the upbringing. Uh, I think this is, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
this is what I see about the group here as well. We learn how to do things, and we never step down from a challenge.
So being a first-gen entrepreneur yourself, and today 70% of your, as you mentioned earlier, 70% of your manpower is women.
Yeah.
So which is actually a very large story.
It is, and the company is very differently run because of that. Because I go for other startup events. There are a lot of male founders there, a lot of men in entrepreneurship, lots of techies doing startups, and very, very different cultures that are there in those companies. But in iThrive, 70% of the team is made of women. Very, very bright, sharp, absolutely talented master's degrees holders. But we literally have a room for crying in office. Like when something happens and you want to let your emotions flow, we have a room for that. So I love the paradigm and how through me and then the company, we are changing even workspaces, how it's becoming a really collaborative, nurturing model versus a dog eats dog world and hyper aggressive masculine culture.
So like I said that, it's not just had economic impact, but also social and cultural impact. Women-led businesses have that done very differently. Thank you so much, Mugdha. We'll come back again to that. So, Meena ji, would you like to, social tech, that's the space I've been wanting to put it in, and she's been, explaining that it's actually astrotech. So would you like to tell us more about that story? And how do we get something as traditional as Astro today as a tech product? And what's been the journey?
So my journey is actually a very, very long one. I think far more than many of the ladies here on the panel. It goes back to the genesis of internet, and after that telecom VAS. And I would say that for a good 7 to 8 years, I was the only woman who was in the internet space. I was the only woman who would ever go to a telecom partner and be introduced as such that, she's the only woman in VAS. That was very disconcerting because that's not how I wanted to be known. I did not want to be known as the only woman, but that was the truth of the matter. So it was a space that I got interested in more because, I had a keen interest in content, etc. And it began with that. We led with that. And the partner, we grew faster than I could handle. I'll be very honest with you. We grew so quickly in those first 5, 6 years with all those telecoms, etc., but it was a very lonely place. It was a very lonely place because I do not have any other founder on our team. I'm the only one who was there, and I would go to conferences where I was the only woman in the room. So at a mobile internet conference, I'm the only woman. At a telecom meetup, I'm the only woman. And we need to move away from that. I don't see that things are so incredibly different today. Yes, we have moved a long way in the last 7 to 10 years, but I do feel that there's a lot of ground we have to cover as women. How do we support one another? How do we network with one another? How do we be more collaborative in our information, in our access to funds, in helping and supporting each other? I think that's men network beautifully. You get 10 men into a room and they will figure that out.
Absolutely.
So I think, and post that journey, then of course we went into, I got into something which was in the health tech space, which was teleconsultations. I eventually sold that company and to 1MG, and then post that, then we got into the consumer tech space, and the consumer tech space really was about empowering. Literally, right now we have about 5,000 partners, and at least 2,000 of them are women. So they are all now empowered as a function of this to to, lead an independent lifestyle and give
Fabulous.
advice
Yeah,
online.
so
It's been a fantastic
it's been
journey.
a long,
It's been a long and
journey full
fantastic
of innovations at various steps and
yes.
creating new solutions.
And bootstrapping
Bootstrapping,
from zero to get to 100 crores when you thought, oh, this is not going to ever be possible. So,
So
yeah.
we'll come back again on that point, the bootstrap to the 100 crores journey in a bit, once we've gone through the room. So, so Rashi, let's speak about your journey as the co-founder of Zypp. It's in that traditionally expected to be a male domain area, and we see a woman co-founder there in mobility, so which is absolutely refreshing and extremely curious to know how did you land into that,
Sure.
and where do you go from there?
Yeah. First of all, thank you everyone, and thank you for having me here in this panel of such strong and empowering women. Well, I come from hills, and I've seen businesses thriving all my life because my father is a businessman and all my family around me were into businesses. So that business kida was always there in my, my mind. But I started my journey with a corporate wherein I worked for 7 years. But when I realized, so once, our manager, we all were sitting in a room and our manager asked that where do you see yourself 5 years down the line from today? And I ended up saying that I see myself doing business. And that's where it hit me hard that, I wanted to do business, but I was not doing it. And hence, the very same day, I started exploring it. So Zypp Electric was the second business that I started. The first business was Let's Flaunt, which was basically into e-commerce fashion portal. I worked for 3 years. I was doing job as well as my first business, parallelly. So I was working 18 hours a day, and because I did not want to let go of my financial freedom at the same time. And entrepreneurship is definitely a lonely journey. So I don't want to be in the situation where I get stuck. And hence, I worked till the time I was not very confident about leaving my job fully and, involve myself in Let's Flaunt. And once it got stabilized, then I started working. 3 years I worked in Let's Flaunt, but that fulfillment was not there because it was more into customized offerings of t-shirts, coasters, wall clocks and all of that, and there's not sustainability, which was something where I wanted to work a lot, was not there. So Zypp Electric happened 6 years back. Basically, Zypp Electric is a tech-enabled EV as a service platform which provides last-mile delivery services to all the big e-commerce companies today. But that's not how we started when we started Zypp Electric. We almost pivoted thrice in these 6 years of our journey in Zypp. So we started with a dockless concept, wherein we wanted to, make commute easy for, general public. But there were a lot of challenges from theft, vandalism to weather to infra, and we very soon realized that maybe we need to do something more than what we're doing and we have to pivot. And then we started to doing electric vehicle rentals, long-term rentals, short-term rentals. And simultaneously, we also started doing last-mile delivery for smaller, for 1 or 2 players. And that time, COVID happened. While COVID happened, we realized that we got a lot of organic demand from, all the big e-commerce players and a lot of other middle tier, players. And we realized that this was the need of the hour. This is something which was very much required in the market. And hence, we completely pivoted ourselves to last mile delivery services. And since then, it's been a journey. We have 20,000 riders today running on the roads of Delhi, NCR, Mumbai and Bangalore. And the idea is to paint, India green in the next 5 years. My journey is being quite interesting, I would say, because I've been working for the last 10 years now. Obviously, there are gender biasness that you do encounter, in your journey. But I think these are challenges which, you can face and you can move on and, you can learn from that and,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think what I hear in your story is adaptability, post-COVID, and resilience.
Correct. So I think one thing which I learned from my entrepreneurial journey is that we should not get emotional towards what we do. We should keep exploring, and if we realize sooner that what we are doing is not working out, we should pivot fast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now I'll jump.
Definitely. This is a learning for me.
We'll jump quickly now to Eesha. F&B, like I said, I loved the story how we spoke about, in the lounge just now, which is completely a men's domain, restaurant business, roll up your sleeves, get dirty, and lead it from the front.
Yes.
I love it. And like you said, there aren't many women entrepreneurs who are actually into that business and doing it themselves. Would love to hear more about it.
Absolutely. So I think you've covered most of the stuff. So again, very similar to what she said. I was working for the past 13 years in corporate jobs, and I decided one day, because I had a lot of passion in the food space and I wanted to do it, and it was my dream. I decided to take the plunge just before COVID. So I started my restaurant in a place like Bandra in Bombay, which is very competitive, in November 2019. And when COVID hit us, I was shocked. I was like, I left my job to do this. And a lot of people told me to give up my dream, to never start the restaurant again, to forget about it and go back to a job. But something I think about, like what we women do stand for, believing in ourselves, resilience, also, not listening to everyone, but like, having that kind of conviction to go for it. So I continued, we launched delivery, we launched a lot of other interesting products from a food and bakery perspective. And today it's been 4.5 years. We're here. We won Times Food Awards 4 years in a row. And I just want to definitely, stress on the fact that as women, resilience, adaptability, reinventing the wheel, making sure that, you use a lot of technology as well in the food business, because today it's all about technology. Like she mentioned, Mugdha said, we are totally moving in a very different world. The pre-COVID world and the post-COVID world are very different. Earlier, no one...
I was just about to add that
Yeah.
for a food business to be there
Yes.
pre-COVID and post-COVID,
Yes.
itself is really a badge of honor.
Yes.
Because that's one business that really was hit hard.
Very
during
hard.
COVID.
And I really would like to thank the men in my team, because, I'm the only founder, and of course, I've got 30 men working for me. And I would like to take this platform to thank the team who are men.
No women in the team?
No, absolutely not. We have a sous chef who's a woman, but 95% are men. And because, again, it's very difficult for women, in the kitchen to have a balance between a personal and professional life. And it's 14, 15 hours of work. So there are very few women who really choose to do that. So we have one chef who's a woman chef, but mostly it's the men, and I think they have stayed with me from pre-COVID to now. And I think they have been, a lot of times in a patriarchal society where men take it on their ego to take orders from women overall in many leadership roles, or, they think like, oh, well, why should we listen to her? But I think they have really kind of, been there and helped us. So it's been a collaborative effort, yeah.
No, I truly believe that, business is gender agnostic at the
Yes.
very core.
Yes.
So, and we are seeing so many gender benders now. Like, you're the founder and you lead the
Yes.
business, wherein your team, all the sous chefs, they all are men, right?
Yes.
And so it's a gender agnostic space
Yes.
at the core of it. Business is completely agnostic.
Yeah, it's just collaborative,
Yeah, it's
and
collaborative,
I
yeah.
think it's about learning every day and just making sure better today than yesterday. So while as women we need to have support from other women, we also need to have support from men in our families and everywhere else. I think
100%.
behind every successful woman is also an understanding man.
Absolutely.
Like they say,
100%.
so yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Eesha.
Yeah, sure.
So, Roma, now to probably my favorite part of it, because you do something that I personally consume. So, being a runner, I consume some of the products that you guys make. So, as the founder of Evolve Foods, would you like to tell us more about how it's an innovation? Plant-based nutrition is still an innovation in the athlete space, because a lot of it is not plant-based.
Yeah.
So we are moving in that direction, and I'm so happy to hear about your journey and seeing that you are here on the table today.
Thank you so much. First of all, it's a pleasure to actually share the stage with you all. Um, we actually started Evolve Foods almost 4 years now. Prior to that, we started as a restaurant first. So yes, I've actually run a restaurant prior to this. Our journey, I think I might be speaking from a place of privilege, but I'm a Bengali married to a Kannadika, and he has never eaten meat. I come from a culture where meat is very, very common. So that was the reason why when we were in Singapore, I was doing my master's there. When we came back, one of the reasons why we wanted to try plant-based food, and I think 2018, 2019, it was talk of the town. At that time, it was, few companies were actually making these plant-based meat, if I can be specific here. So when we tried to find it in India as such, it was not that common. So we thought we'll start as a restaurant first because it'll just help us understand the consumer psyche, understand their preference much, much better. And it's not, you are not trying to create a problem. You first understand the problem and then let's find a solution. That was one of the reasons why we started. Of course, pandemic, yes, it hit a lot of people and it wasn't really great, but when it comes to our business as such, the concept of health, it actually became something which people started speaking on the dinner table because you suddenly realized, oh damn, if health is not there, you may have 100 other problems, but when you have a health problem, that's the only problem you have. You really can't deal with it. So, of course, once the pandemic was going on, we have gone through 3 pandemics while we were trying to figure out, we were working on the product. And the product, what we brought out to the market, it's actually a result of almost 3.5 years of R&D, really understanding and working with the consumer to understand what will actually work. So what we have got is, it's called Evolve Plant Protein, which is extremely versatile proteins product, ingredient, which can be used from your khichdi to your mutton biryani as well. So we work with a lot of B2Bs as well.
Formulated from the scratch by you guys.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Fabulous.
So we worked with, of course,
Innovation.
different...
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's the innovation I was talking about.
So that was the idea that India, we don't need a cookie cutter approach. Something which worked, yes, innovation might flow from US or anything, but it's a very different market. The dynamics is so different there. They eat 96 kgs of meat per capita. We don't eat that much. What we need is protein. India needs protein, correct? And we need protein the way we are familiar with. You can't have, I'm not really sure how many people eat burgers at home, but I know a larger amount of people or larger proportion as such, they don't eat burgers at home. They still eat your dal, chawal and rice, something which connects with you. So our entire, the idea behind was that we want to make something which you can consume normally. The way you eat your regular food every day. And we actually just launched our products in D2C as well. We're starting with Bangalore. And the kind of products we have got, again, the focus is bringing Indian cuisine out. We have a brilliant diversity when it comes to food. So we have got Karnataka, Done biryani, and the focus, as I said, was pretty much on, bringing our culture back.
Absolutely.
Thank
you, Roma. That's so inspiring because, the whole concept specifically on food and finding, the food which is consumed in the West extremely inspiring and aspiring has been the trend, right? So
Absolutely.
now that moving away and coming back to the roots is fabulous.
I think it's time we celebrate our own roots.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Ritika, again, now coming into a space which is an extremely challenging feet on the ground, roll up your sleeves space of event management. So would you like to share, how did you come into that and what's been the journey so far?
Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, it's a roller coaster ride every day.
Yeah.
And I run a event management company, Pom Pom Events. And first of all, it is very emotionally satisfying business because it is spreading happiness all over. We are famous for birthday parties of kids all over. And it started with my own daughter 10 years back when I wanted to do something for her and everybody who was doing balloons. I didn't wanted balloons. I wanted everything handcrafted. And when I used to explain people, everybody was like, nobody was understanding. So I had to get in and do it. And that time, I think it was only one, like you said, there was nobody. And now it's like history. All good celebrities, politicians, cricketers, we have done all kids' birthdays till date. And it is one of the best, I say, emotionally satisfying business.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Ritika, for that input.
Thank you.
You know, now having gone through the room, listening to all your inspiring stories, I think one thing which is really coming out is the use of tech, which has played a large role in terms of scaling up. Manpower, a fair, you know, more than a fair smattering of women employees in the team. Adaptability, pivoting the business quickly enough from one space to the other, as you felt that the business was moving, and also in your case. So some of these important things which are coming out. Apart from that, any of you would like to take a pick and say that these were aspects of my business which were different from, let's say, a male-oriented business, and help me in
That completely, agrees with the fact that I'm truly very self-obsessed as an entrepreneur. So be you are a man or a woman, you just have to love what you are doing. And believe that what you are doing is a great work. I'm into agri-tech, like, diversifying farmers into animal husbandry and allied sectors and multiplying their income. So we do that business, making people rich, making farmers rich, making poor rich. So it's like, so be it a man, be it a female entrepreneur, be it a male entrepreneur, all you need is dedication, perseverance, patience, and hard work to make it up to the top, to take it, from, in my case, 1,18,000 company to 100 crore company by 2028. So it is like hard work. And patience, perseverance, and dedication, the four most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So in terms of Roma, in terms of funding, for example, let's talk about that. Because, there are, so many times we see there are brilliant ideas and, there's a great launch that happens. But after that, there are a few bottlenecks that we hit. And then, so would you like to share some of your challenges that either of you guys, both of you guys faced, and how did that work out?
So I think especially for women, I mean, I don't want to say this, but it's true that a lot of times investors and people who offer funding are very biased towards males and do not have the same mindset that they have when they have to look at a male entrepreneur versus a female entrepreneur, whatever you may say. Because I think they view females as, not like they don't think women are smart, but they think that, like eventually she's going to have like other stuff happening in her personal life, and it's going to be very difficult for her to beyond 3-4 years do this once they have kids, once they all those kind of things. And it's really sad because it should not be gender biased. I think when men are getting equal opportunities, women should also get equal opportunities. And especially I would say in my field, which is hospitality, I think there had to be a lot more, assistance financially, because it's a very capital intensive industry. I mean, there are a lot of bottlenecks. So I think definitely equal opportunities in funding are important, and I think the mindset has to change.
Absolutely.
Because the number of investors investing in women's businesses is definitely lesser compared to men.
I agree. So that's the challenge part. Roma, would you quickly like to, if there's a way that you manage to navigate this, and there is the panel before us, we had a lot of women fund founders, and who are specifically working with the female founders now. So that situation is changing, hopefully.
Yeah.
And did you have an experience which is
So,
in that direction?
Thankfully, we raised our seed round last year.
Yes.
And whether it's, my company, it's basically, my co-founder is my husband. So I cannot really say the investors are looking at me or him, because here it's both of us together, correct? So it's about, it's from gender, it actually moves to innovation, what we are doing, what is the, what's the plan.
Absolutely.
And of course, the kind of business we are doing, it's still futuristic. We all know that it's going to be the future tomorrow. It has to come, it will happen. It's just that, yes, when it comes to investors, because it's always a chicken and egg, and not really in terms of plant-based, I'm saying. But you bring the numbers, if that happens, of course you get funded.
Absolutely.
So it's not really the pure innovation. So I think there, I think a lot of work can be done. I'm not really specific about the gender, because as I said, I'm speaking from the place of privilege. But the point is, because we all need that encouragement as well, and if the business is good, of course.
Fair, absolutely fair. So I guess, our time is up as well. And so one point which is sort of coming out through all the conversations here is the collaborative part. I heard this word from all of you, that probably the key to success, like any other business, not just in women-led, but specifically in women-led, is collaboration. It's collaboration and not competition. So can we, any of you would like to add a few words as the final statement on this?
Sure. So I think women tend to be collaborative just by our very nature, just by who we are. And therefore, we look for those opportunities both within the office and outside the office. I think it might, and men tend to be a little bit more competitive. However, having said that, they are far more, they're great at their networking. That's something that I think that women need to learn. I think women need to, if we're collaborative, then we need to have more forums where we can get together, where we can, tap into each other's strengths and figure out that how we can help one another with the information that is today available with us, that maybe someone who is very new to a business, 2 years into it, 5 years into it, how we can provide more mentorship, etc. So I think that is really what's important.
So networking, collaboration, support, mentoring, information, peer consultations, a few of these things is what I see as the area we need to all work towards. And again, collaboration, not competition, is what I would like to leave the forum with. And thank you very much. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for all of you for coming here. And thank you for such an engaging session today. Thank you, Business World, for giving us this platform to have this conversation.